What up guys, Astro Mercenaries here, back at again with another video, and today we're trying something new and maybe a weekly thing. So last week we started making videos on reviewing Star Citizen's performance, on how Star Citizen has been played this week. Today we're going to talk about Star Citizen and the future of Star Citizen. So we might be doing weekly videos of, news on Star Citizen, our thoughts, and then we'll also do the review on how Star Citizen is doing right now. Those might be weekly things. We'll see how much everybody likes them and whatnot, but we're going to do it kind of podcast style. So there's quite a few of us here, and we're just sitting on 600i enjoying some views, but we're going to do some gameplay in the background while we talk about this. So that's the plan. You know what to do, guys. Smash the like button if you guys enjoy this. Leave a comment down below if you guys enjoy how we're talking about this. If you have your own opinions, leave those down in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to give you news when we can, and we'll do the best we can to give you all the right news and stuff, and just have conversations about it. But yeah, so here we are in 600i, and there's me, of course, Astro Manny, and in today's Astro Mercenary crew, we have Frank Nitty in the house. Yep, you know how we do it. We got Tyrannus Maximum.
Hello.
Yes. And then some new people eyes. We got Swag Kitty. I mean, you guys have seen him before, but he's the newest member to Star Citizen. Yep. Hey, hi, hello. There it is. The Swag Kitty. Hey, hi, hello. We also, not on the ship, we have Bishop and Majin. They're going to be joining us in a little bit.
Yo. Like a turtle.
Awesome. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to do some bunkers while we're talking about this, so that we're just going to mindlessly play the game in the background and have conversations about Star Citizen and the news and the future of Star Citizen. So that way you guys have a little bit of gameplay in the background, and I'll try to keep the camera on who is talking. I won't be doing a lot of FPS combat. I'm just going to go around and wander around and tickle everybody's butt. Sound good? Alright, so we're going to start off with one of the biggest things that is happening, that has been committed to 3.20, and that is the Seraphim station right here in Crusader. We're orbiting Daymar at the moment, and soon we will no longer have Port Olisar. So who wants to start off first on talking about our nearly departed space station?
Well, I never got to know her, so I'm looking forward to Seraphim.
Oh, see. Bishop here with some fresh eyes too. So Bishop is also relatively new to the game and hasn't experienced just about everything, or hasn't experienced everything. He's played quite a bit, but hasn't experienced everything. Me, myself, I'm kind of somewhat new too. I just started back in the very beginning of March. But as you guys know, I play this game like every day, 5 hours a day at least, putting out content every day. You gotta play the game a lot. So me personally, it's gonna be nice to be able to have a space station above Orison, to have a medical bed, right? So we're going to be able to set our spawn there, and we don't have to go live at Grimhex or at Crew 1. But some of the changes that they're going to be making, or making it just like another space station, just like all the others, is kind of disappointing, because it was nice, the simplicity of Port Olisar, how we just got onto the pad, got out of the ship, and you were boom in the station. No elevators, no silly stuff. You were already there. That's my thoughts. What about
I'm outside, Bishop.
What about let's go down this. What do we got? We got Frank's been here a long time. Frank's been playing a long time. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Bishop.
What pad you're on? Imagine.
The station. I really, I haven't played a lot of hours on for all this work, but the thing that I don't like about it is that it never had a hospital with a medical bed of respawn, and that's one of the things that kept me away from it. It's because of that, because I can't stand Grimhex. So with Seraphim coming with at least just having a hospital, I look forward to being a Crusader more often.
Yep.
The other thing that I heard about it is that it'll have some facilities for bounty hunting. So I don't know if they're gonna implement that into gameplay, but it's a start. That they'll have like a jail and things like that, a separate entrance for
I see your
bounty
shit.
hunters. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Right, yeah, that's actually kind of curious. That's kind of a cool thing that's going to be coming, right? So they're going to be implementing the security stations. They're actually going to be putting the security stations on all the space stations, and so they're all going to get the new building or whatever for bounty hunting. But we will not see any bounty hunting gameplay, the new version of bounty hunting gameplay, for still quite some time. What about Tyrannus? How do you feel about No More Port OSR? How long have you been playing that game, Tyrannus?
I've been here since 3.11, and I am sad to see it go. I wasn't here early enough when it was, the original hub of everything. Yeah, I'm sad to see it go. Just the quickness of it, quanting and, at least recently, you're 8K out. There's none of this, okay, I'm 29, 30K out of the space station. It's a quick hub for Crusader, rather than landing planetside. It helps the grind, and to me, doing bounties was always easiest in the Crusader system, just because you weren't having any of those bounties that were, spawning in 200K out. Yeah, I'm really sad to see it go. Yeah, it's always been a hindrance not having a medical bed, and such like that, but when I'm on the grind, I'm often not really worried about that. I'm usually in self-sufficiency grind mode. So yeah, I'm definitely sad to see it go. And it was to me it was a good option, obviously with the climate of Orson and the time it would take to come out of atmosphere. It was just the best hub. And like I said, it's one of those hubs that really started this game. So it's gonna be sad to see it go, and we'll see what CIG comes up with the new space station system. I get the idea having covered pads, it's gonna stop both of the pad ramming and stuff like that, but I still wish there was that option, and maybe there will be in the future with other hubs to land at and such.
Yeah, sounds good. What about you, Swag? I mean, you spend a lot of time in the Crusader area. I know you've only been playing the game for 3 or 4 weeks, but what do you think? Your home is Crew 01, right? That's where your current spawn point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm kind of the opposite of Tyrannus, where I don't have that much experience with Port LSR, so any change is fine by me. I welcome it.
Okay. Fair point. Majin, do you have any other things you want to add?
You said for Majin?
Yeah.
I wonder how many lives this one is gonna claim.
Hey, we won't have invisible. Yeah, the circles. You won't have the people dying through the circles, right?
I'm just eager to get on there and just see if I can get into the bounty hunting area. Just want to see what it looks like. So I think it's exciting, something new, and it's finally some progress being done when it comes to, I guess, the bounty hunting field. So I'm excited about it. Can't wait to see it.
Cool. Well, yeah. So there's our thoughts on Seraphim Station, and rest in peace, Port LSR. Like I said, it's Port LSR is a great station. Oh, did we?
I think so.
No way.
Yeah, sounds like
Yeah,
bullets
just walk.
No, we're good.
I'm stuck in the ship. Won't open. Get out.
People are opening fire like crazy. Oh
I'm
my
stuck underneath
goodness.
the planet.
Oh my goodness.
You're in the passenger seat, right? District?
Yeah, but I'm underneath the planet.
What is happening right now?
Yeah, I've not seen anybody yet.
Oh, now I'm on the ground.
There's a huge lag spike. The bandwidth is 11.
That was crazy.
Oh, it's starting to catch up now. Okay.
That was insane gunfire. I almost died.
Oh, now I'm getting shot at. Don't know where from.
Oh, Tyrannus is down.
Nope, I'm up.
What kind of 600 you have?
Can't get out of the ship.
Just a basic one.
Not the expedition?
Oh, it's the exploration. Okay, well the bandwidth is still 11. Let's continue on. Hopefully, you guys still stuck in the ship or?
Yeah, I am.
I am too.
Okay.
Everybody's frozen for me.
Yeah, everyone's frozen, but the AI are dying or something. I don't know.
Having heart attacks.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Just dropping dead.
Well, thanks for trying to ruin our talk game. So much for having nice gameplay in the background. Until it fixes itself. Like I said, we'll just kind of try to keep going here. So next up is the Crusader platforms. So just earlier in the week, we're recording this on a Sunday. This is going to release on a Monday. Just earlier in the week, they had announced, or they put it in the roadmap, that the Crusader platform, the new Crusader platforms, and the Crusader platform missions were going to be in 3.20. They've now updated that here at the end of the week, and have been saying that it's not ready, and it might not be available from 3.20. So, thoughts on that? We'll start going the other way this time. Majin, what do you think about Crusader platforms not being in 3.20?
I'm okay with it. If it's not ready, don't rush it. You know, if it's gonna be anything like it was with the Repel, the Rebels, that was actually pretty decent, except for the guys getting clipped in the walls and everything. I actually kind of like that because it was a quick way to make a lot of money. So if it's not ready, don't rush it. I'm kind of trying not to get my hopes up any higher than what they are now. So it is what it is.
Okay. So for Swag Kitty and Bishop, the Crusader platforms, I know I've talked about them a little bit before. So you know how Crusader, or how Orison, when you go to the city, it's like floating in the clouds, right? And it has the platforms. And the city's just like kind of split into a couple platforms. You know, you have the spaceport area, then you have the cloud view area, which has the hospital and the apartments and a shop and stuff there. Then there's the Providence section, which is kind of like the industrial part that has Cousin Crows and a couple other things in that area. And then way off, if you take the Vision Center, you can go do the PTV racing, which we just did the other day. Those are all in separate platforms on Orison. The Crusader platform missions is you would go even further out, like way further out, and there would be more platforms way out, and they would have pretty much like a bunker. They would have hostiles that would spawn. It would be like 10 out of 10 hostiles, and you would have to find them. You know, they would have the marker, and they would tell you which building they're in. And you would go into the buildings and take elevators and go to different floors and clear out the areas. So.
And they're getting rid of the missions.
No, so they had missions like that. There's an event called Raid on Orison, which was specifically at Orison, but then they implemented missions just in general that you could do every single day. They recently took that out in 3.19. The reason why they took that out is because they were working on these new ones. So you guys have no experience on them. But what do you think about having gunfights in basically skyscrapers and stuff? You take elevators to go to different floors, and there's different rooms, and There's enemies in there. It's much different than just coming down here into a bunker, right?
You
Yeah.
said elevator, so we're definitely gonna be done.
I need a revive.
And we're still sitting at 11 bandwidth.
Yeah, I got pistol whipped by somebody I couldn't see, I guess.
Yeah.
Me and Majin are still stuck in the ship.
Well, this
Why
is
the heck?
this is
You're up
definitely
for me.
going in Tuesday's video on how Star Citizen performed this week.
Right.
We are literally stuck in the ship.
I like the new idea of FPS missions, though. I like the tight room clearing. I'm not big on the component. You know, if we want to talk about how Star Citizen is working, I'm not big on clearing rooms of guys that don't know I'm there, and shooting them point blank and then just going one to one to one. But you know, it's a step towards something new, and it's a step towards maybe a game loop. You know, so that's where I'm at with it.
Cool. What else we got here?
Yeah, fighting in skyscrapers sounds really nice.
Yeah. I mean, it can be scary too. So like, from my experience in the Orison missions that I've done, so there's the ground floor, then there's a kind of like mid floor, and then there's the top floor. And on the top floor, it's like a skyscraper like garden, plaza area. So like it's a big open rooftop, and the enemies are like spread out outside. So it's kind of like when you go to an outpost or something, those enemies, they're like blending in with the background. When you're in a bunker, you can see, oh look, there's a guy right there. Pow, you got him, right?
Right.
On those missions, sometimes those enemies can sneak up on you, which makes it fun and also scary. So I do
Yep.
recommend when you do those Crusader platforms that you always bring a friend and don't go by yourself.
For
But
me, I never did any of the Orison missions before, but the new ones, they sound interesting. A change of locale would be good for the game, because I mean I've done hundreds of bunker missions, and I like to see some new scenery. So yeah, I think you know, buildings, you know, going vertical, going up and down, different types of cover. I think that'll be great for the game.
yeah, I'm really sad that it's been pushed back. I mean, but I'm at the same time, I'm always the guy who's gonna say, go ahead. I don't care how long it takes. If it takes 20 years, CIG.
Oh, don't say that. Stretch it out.
I know. I know, but I just it's the joke of we're sitting here freaking 10 years down the line. I mean,
Guys,
I'm new to the
I'm-
game, but
I'm 52. I'll be 70 by the time this game releases.
yeah. But
Yeah.
if it's not ready, don't put it out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I hate when they come out with something, and especially with the testers. You know, the testers are saying, "Hey, this isn't ready. Hey, this isn't ready. Hey, this is what we're going through," and then the very next week they're dropping it, and then they drop that with something else like Xenothreat or you name it, and the servers just aren't handling it at all. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope they can get it in. I mean, you know, it's still on the roadmap. I mean, it's 50-50, but I hope they can get it in.
By the way, guys, just want to let you guys know it's kind of funny. While you guys are talking, you know, we're all frozen, but like you can move around yourself, right? So like I'm going to your guys every time you guys are talking. I'm running to like, oh, Frank's over here. Frank's talking. Let me run to him. Oh, Tyrannus is talking. Let me go to his dead body on the floor.
I've revived Tyrannus twice, and Swag
Yeah.
Pig.
Oh, Swag's
I'm
down?
still.
Dead? I've been
Why,
walking.
you're still dead?
I've been walking.
Yeah, I'm licking the
Okay.
stairwell right now.
I didn't know I went down.
Maybe we should all F4.
The
Oh,
elevator's
we just
broken.
30K'd. We're actually 30K. There it is.
Ah,
There it is.
Right when I said that.
thank God, because I don't want to. This is my subscriber armor.
It's okay. So we'll all end up back at Port Olisar, I believe. Maybe everyone besides Majin. Did you touch down on Port Olisar, Majin?
Yeah, yeah, I got off the ship
Okay.
and everything.
Well, anyways, let's just keep going because we want to do this all in one take. So Crusader platforms, hopefully they come. It's always nice to have more missions and more things to do, right? All right. So next up on the list would be Arena Commander, and we're going to briefly go over Arena Commander because let's be honest, we're here to play Star Citizen in the persistent universe. Arena Commander's nice for what it does, but we want to see the PU stuff. Arena Commander, a couple new maps, new racetracks, all cool stuff. That's nice. New Horizon Speedway racetrack, Jericho Station, and the dogfighting maps, Elimination map, Echo 11, dogfighting map, Winter Circle, Atmosphere Flight in Arena Commander. That will be cool. People will be allowed to practice Atmo flight. Everyone knows I'm garbage at Atmo. I am an excellent pilot and can fly circles around you in space, but you put me down in Atmo, I'm just gonna scream at the screen. So Atmo practice, that's cool. New Security Post Korea map for Arena Commander. And so we'll real quick, we won't go too deep into it, but they're going to be testing Master Mode, right? So real quick, I'll go over that too for people who don't know too much about Master Mode, but it's basically going to change our whole flight system to where all our flight characteristics are going to change. It's going to be more fine-tuned to different speeds, so like your weapons will not be active if you're going too fast, so you won't be able to fire at super high speeds. You have to be in safe speed to fire your guns. I'm going to go ahead to throw us in another server.
So, Mayo's in a server with 35 people.
Yeah, I'm joining on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you will have to be going safe speed to use your weapons, and your shields are only up during those times. If you're trying to use quantum to get away, your shields are going to drop, things like that. So like systems and combat is going to be completely revamped. We can briefly talk about that. We've been doing a lot of PvP here and there, so what are our thoughts on that? Let's go to Tyrannus. What do you think?
Well,
Master.
I like the fact that everything's getting a change. I like the idea of the realisticness that's going to bring from what I'm reading. I'm still a little dull on what all they're bringing to the table there. But as far as the things like when you're hitting quantum and stuff like that, obviously that'd be something, if you thought about it, would draw a huge amount of energy from your ship. That's going to make PvP playing go a lot better. You can't just run. Okay, you're going to have some type of strategy other than that, which is a big gameplay loop that I like. PvP bounties. A lot of that when it comes to weapons firing, you could say they're copying other games in the past. Like when I used to play old flight simulators. I like that a lot. I've always thought that if you're in a fast ship, you launch a missile, and somebody else in the same missile category launches the same missile, but in a slower ship, your missile should be faster than theirs. So it'd be cool to see if they can get into that at all, rather than, we got a group of weapons, every weapon of the same size is pretty much the same velocity. I'd like to see a change in that. The rest I'm still pretty dull on.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
So is Star Citizen supposed to be like a super, like, almost real, like one-to-one realistic to like the real world in terms of physics and stuff?
Well,
because to me that's like I feel like I'm a super casual, right? And so that's gonna be, I can understand with like the mining, having to be like, oh, if it gets too hot, go down to like cool it down. But that's like, so just for like normal that, just like fighting, that like puts me off.
The physics, like normal fighting,
Yeah.
would make you mad.
So no, well, that added level of like realism where you got to be at a safe speed in order to use your guns.
So you like the super fast, crazy speeds that we go now?
Yeah, like right now, it's more forgiving. If I have to for sure get good, to the max in order to be able to shoot at somebody and actually hit them and take them down, that's like another barrier.
Well, so that's the thing. So master mode, in my eyes, what I see is going to be um, more. It's going to be easier to learn. It's going to be easier to grasp, and so it's going to bring the new players or the non-combat players to a easier understanding of combat. But it's going to be much harder to master. So it's going to be one of those things where like your positioning and your maneuvers pay more dividends than the ship that you're flying. It's going to be less about, oh, I'm in the bigger, badder ship, I'm a better pilot, is going to be the new thing. Because like right now, there are certain situations where like the ship itself is just going to carry you. It's all about pure DPS when you're going against people at the same skill level. But yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I've always been, a little different with the old flight simulators I would play. But I've always, and don't hate me, but I've always thought the time to kill in this game was long. I've always thought it was very long. I've even thought about, imagine if you could, when it comes to moving your shield power around certain ships like the Scorpius, which we all know if you've gone up against a good dual-seated Scorpius, it's a run for your money, and a lot of ships you're in. And you look at that ship, and maybe this is the direction they're going. Well, and you look at that ship that doesn't. It would need a higher front-facing shield because there's nothing really armor-wise protecting the pilot. And I think it's a step in the right direction for realism, and I like it because we've been stuck with a lot of the same for as long as I've been playing.
Yeah, and before I comment on that, if you guys want to start coming out of Port Olisar, I'm picking people up. So Bishop, I'm looking at you. If you want to come out,
I'm still loading in.
I'll pick you up.
So am I.
I'm where?
So
I'm at the Alt F4.
Just come out into a pad, and I'll pick you up.
Okay.
I think a lot of this master mode stuff is going to be directly reliant to, or definitely applied to smaller ships, the small fighters, the light fighters and stuff. The kind of dogfighting gameplay is going to change a lot. It's obviously going to change all combat, but it's going to be more obvious for the light fighters and the competitive scene, where what they want in kill time actually for the bigger ships is they actually want to increase the kill time because they want to do the whole engineering thing and the ship's on fire but you could repair it kind of thing. So I don't see I don't master mode I feel like doesn't apply too much to those situations, but it applies a lot to the small light fighters, which might make time to kill quicker, maybe. Not sure. It might make it longer. I guess we'll have to see. So that's something that's going to be coming in 3.20 for Arena Commander as a test. There's not really... It's not coming out yet. It's just coming out for testing. So, yeah. Anyone else want to say anything about Master Mode?
I think that it'll definitely upend how people do dogfighting, and everybody's gonna have to relearn what they do now. And I think it'll put some balance on some of these ships, like things like the Gladius that everybody loves to use, I don't think it's going to be that important anymore. Going forward with master rules.
Yeah.
So, with the speed and all that stuff changing, do you think they're gonna might rebalance some stuff? Shields, weapons, things of that nature?
Yes, that'll
They're gonna.
come. That'll come in the future after those changes are implemented.
So how drastic is going to be the speed change? Like, are snub fighters going to really be that fast or not anymore?
I think they'll still be what they are. They'll still be the faster turning, more maneuverable ship.
Hmm.
And I still think they'll play the role because if you look at it, a snub fighter like the Archimedes or a Fury or whatever it is, the M50, if you consider that to be a snub fighter, those guys' safe speed is high. Like their safe
Yeah.
speed is like 230 compared to a Gladius' safe speed, which is 210, right? Something like that. But then think about other ships that are even bigger, than their safe speeds are drastically uh, smaller than that. So I think it's still going to make. I still think the snub fighters are going to be what they are, and hopefully they stay in that range. You know, because like it's cool to see a snub fighter out there and see somebody put in work using a snub fighter. Who we missing? We got everybody, or Majin's still on it? Okay.
Did you guys leave?
No, we're picking up you. You're the last one to pick up.
Okay,
So just pop out onto a pad and I'll pick you up.
coming out.
Alright, so that's coming to Arena Commander. It'll be something that we'll test out, and we'll probably do a little bit of that ourselves because, I mean, we are starting to get very much more combat PvP orientated. So it'll be cool to test that out when it comes to Arena Commander. We were actually doing a little bit of Arena Commander today, and that was pretty fun. And it's always good to... I mean, for me, I'm a pilot, so whatever the changes they make to the game, I'm going to have to get used to it, and I'm going to get good at it. And that's my goal. So what's next on the list here? So we got the new salvage contracts. Okay, so there's going to be new salvage missions coming to 3.20. So we just got the new salvage missions in 3.18, which gives us these contracts to go to salvage locations where there's some destroyed ships, and you can pick up cargo from them, or you can strip their hull. But CIG's intention for those missions was for you to use ships like the Vulture and the Reclaimer to go strip these hulls. But mostly people have been just going there and picking up the cargo and not really worrying about the salvaging or stripping the hulls themselves. So they want to make specific hull stripping missions. Sharing a mission, by the way. They're going to make specific hull scraping missions where Ninetales are going to ask you to go and strip these holes, and when you complete the mission in time, there's a timer. If you complete the mission in time, you'll get the money for salvaging it, right? So like you'll get the boxes of scrap that you would get from scraping the hole, and then I believe you're also going to get paid a certain amount of money for completing the job in time. So it's more asking people, it's giving more people, it's giving a push towards going and scraping holes using the Vulture or the Reclaimers. So I'm going to go with Swag Kitty here because he's very interested in salvaging. I took him one day for salvaging, and then we had the Vultures for Free Fly event, and he was out there in his Vulture every day doing a little bit of salvaging. So what do you think about these new missions coming out?
Yeah, I'm excited. While we were doing that one mission stuff with it, where we were just getting the cargo and then bouncing, I was doing those missions where I was salvaging the whole ship. You know, I'll get the Vulture completely filled and then go and sell it. And I really like salvaging. It's and to have the more missions, the better missions, like, or just more in variety, is really welcome.
Yeah. So one of the exciting things on top of that is the Vulture will supposedly be able to be purchased in game, and I say that with a little bit of salt because the Vulture was actually supposed to be available for 3.19, but they took it away at the last minute. So hopefully they get it to you and allow you to use the Vulture here for
Yes.
3.20. Frank, you have a Reclaimer.
Yes, I do.
So
One thing about the salvage missions is that right now they're hit or miss as far as how much you can make. So I think if these new missions balance what the payout is, I think that'll be a good thing, and more people will start salvage. I mean, actually scraping the hulls, because it takes a long time. I mean, like to fill up a vulture, you have to do right now. You have to do 2 or 3 missions just to fill it up. And you're making some chump change. So I think if they can balance out what the time you spend doing the actual scraping to how much you get paid, I think more people will start doing those missions.
yeah. All right. Anybody else?
I hope they fix the little cargo issue with the Vulture. So if you're doing joint missions and you guys are trying to share it, it won't be considered as stolen.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. I hope they fix that. They said they were looking into it, but I haven't heard any updates about that because that just makes even if you're just pirating or you're doing salvaging and you're buddying it up and someone has a cutty or something, it makes it 10 times harder.
Swag, we're at the bunker.
Yeah, can I have someone knock me out? I'm stuck.
Oh, okay.
Stuck where?
In the sea.
I hope
Alright.
they fix the armor where your tool doesn't go on your chest.
Let's move this out the way.
You don't like that?
You can't pull it out.
Where you talking? Where you at, Bishop?
Right out here.
Look. You talking about that?
Yeah, you have to move it with your inventory. You can't choose it when it goes
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
chest like that.
Yeah, you can. Look.
Oh, mine won't.
I actually kind of like it this way because now I can hold my knife on here too.
Yeah, mine won't do it. If mine goes on my chest like that, it won't give me an option to select it and use it. I have to
What do
put
you
it,
put?
I have to
Yeah,
move it back on my body.
How are you pulling your multi-tools off?
Oh, with my joystick.
Oh, I
But
do.
my key button won't work either on my. It won't work on my keyboard either if I hit the button for it.
Alright. Love you guys.
It's crazy.
Alright, so that's a good point though, the salvaging bug where you can't sell the stuff. That really sucks. There's a lot of things with just the little cargo grid and selling stuff that needs to be fixed. So hopefully they do get that all sorted out in the future. Is anyone not said anything about salvage missions that would like to speak about it?
I've never done them.
Never done them. You ever done a salvage
They're
mission?
pretty relaxing. I like them a lot.
Yeah, it's like a power wash simulator.
Yeah, pretty much.
Frank, you good over there?
Oh yeah.
Hey, you coming, bro? Okay, so the salvaging missions. Yeah, again, more missions, more fun, more things to do, more gameplay loops. Always good things. Next, we'll talk about. I don't have a lot of information on this, but if someone else has more information on it, they're improving the wheeled vehicle handling improvements. So they're going to be improving the physics of the ground vehicles, the Cyclones and STVs and PTVs and anything with wheels will basically drive more realistic. That's what I have. If anybody would like to shine more light on that, if they have any more information.
Oh shoot, Frank, I'm sorry. I thought you was on the elevator.
That's all good. Yeah, I haven't seen any details about the actual changes. I mean, it's just kind of generic that they're going to improve handling. I mean, one thing I like to see is hopefully they fix the brakes on the STV.
Oh yes, 100%. That thing just goes and goes and goes.
And then I mean the Ursa drives pretty good. So does the Lynx. So any improvements that make it I guess react more to the terrain. I'll be fine with that. But I mean, mainly I like to see the brakes improve on the STV.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, go.
It'll be interesting to see if it's more of a step again, like where they're headed in a realistic, real world setting. Because I think we've all used light vehicles to cross terrain that you darn well know, okay, this vehicle probably shouldn't do this. We're climbing mountains and driving the vehicle in a way that it's pretty much indestructible. So it'll be nice to see a change in that aspect.
Oh yeah, on that, Digi's not here to talk with us. He's been sick lately, but Digi will protest. Well, we'll talk about this one. Like, you can drop the vehicles out of orbit, man. Like, you can drop them 10, 20 kilometers out of the sky, and they'll hit the ground and just be like, let's keep on going, moving on with life.
Right. And I think we've all used that as a almost a cheat.
Yeah. We'll have to do that before it goes away. Swag, I'm going to drop you out of my Cuddy Blue at 20 kilometers up.
Why?
Because it's fun. Don't you want to skydive without a parachute and still live?
Oh, really? Still live?
Yeah, you don't die. Ground vehicles don't blow up.
Oh, that's... Hell yeah.
Well, they don't blow up by impact. Dang, sadly, I've lost your marker, Swag Kitty, so I can't run around and chase you while you're talking.
Oh, yeah, I died.
You died?
Died.
Yeah.
Did you say nothing?
Well, I didn't want to say, like, I didn't want to bring it up.
Okay.
I was just gonna head back over there and, like,
How'd
nothing
you
happened.
die?
Oh, wait, he's a Tresler.
I jumped, I was on the top floor and I jumped over the railing, and there was nothing at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Copy that.
Beautiful.
We like to call that.
doing?
We're busy, mamas. You come back in a little bit.
What?
Come back in a little bit.
Oh, I got a lot of them on here.
We're recording.
Okay.
I'll message you. Or you can just mute yourself and listen. Anyways, okay. So ground vehicles, they're gonna have changes to that. We don't have a lot of information on that, but it's coming, and it's committed to 3.20. So changes are good most of the time, right? So hopefully it'll be cool. Now here's a big one. Before this is the last update to 3.20 that we're going to be talking about right now. The MISC Hull C is supposedly going to be out, and has been confirmed multiple times that the MISC Hull C will be out in 3.20. Now this is a monster of a ship. Okay, this MISC Hull C is, I think, 2,600 cargo it could hold. Is that it's somewhere around that number, I think. I know it's somewhere. If someone wants to look it up, or I'll look it up, or but it, compared to our biggest cargo hauler that we have now, the C2, which holds nearly 700, it's
4608 SCU.
4,608. That is
crazy.
that is 7 times the amount the C2 holds. So, 7 times the size of a C2. I don't know if you guys have seen this ship or have looked at it, but let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think I mean obviously you know, the more ships that they design that they make into the game, the better. Even if it's a ship that you don't use because you don't do that game loop, but when it comes to cargo, um, I think this is one of the most important ships when you talk about adding a different system, because this is how you're going to be able to move things back and forth. The only thing that I have a question about is right now cargo is iffy. Like it's hard to fill up a C2. It's hard to fill up a Caterpillar. In the whole sea with this 4,000 SEU, I don't see how you're going to be able to fill it up with anything here in Stanton. And then it looks, since it can't land, I mean you're limited in where you can buy cargo for it. And I know some people have some concerns about how you actually load it, because uh, those containers are supposed to be tractor beamed onto the ship, and that feature doesn't exist in the game, so we don't know how cargo is going to actually load and unload onto that ship.
Oh, let's throw that into the conversation too, because we didn't touch on that. Tractor beams as well. Tractor beams are supposed to be coming out in 3.20, so we're supposed to get the tractor beam attachment for the multi-tool, the bigger ones. We're supposed to get the tractor beam on some of the ships. I don't know which ships are confirmed of tractor beams being working or not, but we're supposed to be getting the tractor beams. And also on the whole sea situation, you're right, it does not land at the, you cannot land at the locations to pick up cargo. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go to those cargo locations, buy all the cargo. This is a whole new system they're going to be doing, and I don't think the whole new system is going to be ready for 3.20. So I think they're just getting the ship out to see how the ship runs, possibly. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if they're going to have the whole new system available. But you're supposed to be able to buy the cargo at the place where you purchase the cargo. The mining centers and things like that, and you're supposed to be able to send that to the space station up above. So, for example, in Crusader, if you buy it at a mining center on Daymar, you're going to send it to Seraphin, and then at Seraphin, you would take the whole sea, and that's where it would have a loading station that you would go to, and you would sit there, and it would take like 5 minutes for all the cargo to be loaded onto the ship.
Is it just going to be one of those automatically load kind of situations where it just pops up?
Yes, but it's going to be, like I said, it's going to take time. So you're going to sit there for 5 minutes while it's filling up your cargo space.
I think my game froze, guys.
Okay, well, we're coming to the end. We'll just stay in this bunker and talk while you guys leave.
And the tractor beams on the ships, they're going to be like powerfuler, like they can lift the vehicle?
Yes. So even there's supposed to be a multi-tool attachment that you put onto the front of your multi-tool, and you'll be able to lift small vehicles like the Cyclones and stuff, and maybe even lift things like the Aurora and the Mustang Alpha and things like that, snub fighters. You'll be able to pick up with your handheld multi-tool.
Oh.
And not to mention, it's going to bring the 32 SEU box, obviously, with it. I like the idea going and just of having real capital ship gameplay. I mean, yeah, it's going to come in the form of a cargo ship, but you're going to really have to do things. You're going to almost have to have a logistic officer on the ship itself. There is going to be none of this, just one man cargo running missions. You're going to have a crew almost, you know what I mean? And with that much cargo comes a much bigger risk of piracy. Yeah, I like that idea fully. And then a lot of the ships, it's going to start filling out ships like the Cuddy Black, which is going to have that bigger um, tractor beam attachment on it as well. Definitely a big step in the right direction, but it's definitely going to have to come with another cargo refractor for sure.
Yeah,
And
so I
the
don't
thing
know if that's going to be ready
about
yet. Go ahead, Frank.
the thing about piracy for that whole sea is that even if you attack the ship and take it out, right, you won't be able to take the cargo. Even if you have another whole sea, you won't be able to pull the cargo off the whole sea to your whole sea. So I think
Even
the
with the
best
big
you'll be able
tractor
to
beam?
do. Well, I mean, if the tractor beam is there, yeah. I mean, that would actually be some interesting gameplay. If they have the big tractor beams on ships like the Cuddy Black, then you can take out a whole sea, and you can manually move all the containers, to your own whole sea.
Yeah.
That'd actually be some fun gameplay right there.
Yeah, and I don't think all of this is going to be ready for 3.20, but even if they just have the ship, it'll be cool just to see the ship and how they implement things. I guess it's down the line. We have CitizenCon before 3.20, right? So I don't,
Yep.
We'll get more
I'm sure we'll
space.
learn more.
Is Majin down?
Yeah, Masha
I don't know,
backspace or
but
something.
I got his body just in case he wants it.
Yeah, cause I think my game froze. It won't even let me alt F4.
It says you're back at Trezler.
Did you want anything on his body or?
Yeah, I still want all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it back with us. So, one thing I'll say about the whole sea that, I mean, I'm not even a cargo runner, and I don't even know if I'm gonna even attempt to even use the whole sea as a cargo running ship or anything. But the way I'm looking at this is it's probably going to cost a lot to get the whole sea, right? Like what's it going to cost to get the whole sea in game? Actually, well, let me scratch that, right? They're not going to allow you to buy the whole sea in game, actually, right? It's going to be pledge only, or I don't know.
Like $200.
No, it's
Right now, I mean, if it was IAE, um, it'll be 350. If it was IAE, and then if they do bring it into the game, you won't see it until like 330. Whatever the next 3 patches are. So it'll be a while before you can buy it in game.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it would be exciting to have a new goal in game to shoot for, but now that I think about it, yeah, it's not even going to be available to be purchased in game for quite some time. So let me scratch that. Maybe somewhere down the line it'll be a cool new goal, because right now the goal is 32 million by the 890J, and then get other ships. But it'll be cool to have that new get the whole sea. It's 100 mil or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people aren't thinking about either. Like right now, the going rate for filling up a C2 is like a million, 1.3 mil to fill it up with something, right? And that's kind of been like the barometer of what I can risk, what I can lose. To fill. I'm not even talking about. I don't even think you better fill it up, but just to like say, fill up the equivalent of like more than a C2 on that, it's going to cost millions of AEC.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna have to have that. So it'll be interesting to see if individuals try to fill it up, because I feel like they don't really have any mechanic in there for orgs to finance things, right? Which makes sense to me. Like like if an org is doing cargo running or an org is mining, right? To fill the whole sea up, it's going to take some loot, and they don't really have that mechanic in there that can put a group of people together in order to afford to fill it up.
Yeah, that's some really good points. But is it so 4,600, right? So, like I said, it's about 7 times the size of a C2. So if it takes 1.7 mil to get a C2 full of barrel, you multiply that by 7, it's going to be, nearly 9-10 mil to over 10 mil to fill up a whole sea. If you were that crazy to fill it up with barrels somehow, right? That's pretty expensive.
Yeah, and with those numbers too, like it right now with the current way the economy and cargo moves, like if you were to even halfway fill it up, I mean you'll basically drain a whole whole system of all its resources. So they're definitely gonna have to work on that part, the
Yeah.
economy portion of it.
It's supposed to be a setup, for the pyro system and international or interstellar travel and things like that. So, I mean, there's that, but again, that's more future stuff, and the whole sea's coming out. But at this point, what can
So
we do? We just gotta hope.
so who's getting a whole seat?
I'm not buying them. I'm not pledging
I
them.
mean, I have a CCU to it, but I don't think I'm gonna apply it.
How much does it cost?
I mean, if you were to buy it straight up, 350.
That's it?
Yeah,
Yo, that's not bad at all.
but
That seems like
you'll only
something
be able to
not
buy
bad
it
at all.
during IAE though. Like it's not a regular a regular sales ship, so you don't have to wait till November to buy it.
Right.
I'm not fitting.
You gotta jump, bro.
I am. I got an injury, so there we go.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna fly us up into the air, so we're out of trespassing, and then we'll just sit here and talk because we only got a couple more minutes, and we got one more subject to take. Anybody else want to say anything about the whole sea before we move on?
Can't get past
wait.
this thing.
Can't wait to steal
Yeah.
somebody's whole seat.
So, question about the whole sea. Since they're going to be, I guess, Seraphim is going to be kind of set up towards it, would they be changing all the other orbital bases to
Well-
accommodate that? Because if it's only going to be in Seraphim, that means you're only trading to and from Seraphim? Or how
No.
is this going to work?
No, the cargo thing is gonna be all the space stations. I was just using Seraphim as an example.
I wonder what that's going to look like for all the space stations.
I think a lot of the infrastructure, you see some of the space stations already exist. Like if you go to Cousin Crow's and Orison there, they've got a massive cargo center. And is that going to work into that? That's the one thing. Again, that's another
See-
gray area.
But what they were saying is the whole sea is not meant to be anywhere planet side though.
Right. But that's what
So-
I'm, you see when they release little screen clips here and there of movement, with dedicated cargo haulers and dedicated cargo haulers that are designed to move a box 32 SCU at a time. And then are you then bringing that to clip into the ship,
So also, how would the zoom look like? You know what I mean? When you're trying to
Right.
go in third person and trying to back that thing up somewhere,
Right.
that's
And
gonna
then,
be
but
crazy.
I think that's, and again, gray area, you can only let the imagination wander, but that's where you're getting that little bit of that capital ship feel of, holy crap, I need a crew. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a ship like that, you've got to change so much around it, cargo refactor. These vehicles that were designed for moving cargo, they're already implemented in game. And then they're going to be designed to that 32 SCU box, but think about 32 SCU and now what were you saying, up there in the thousands? It's going to be a timely thing, but it should be. I mean, it should be a timely thing if you've got $10 million worth of goods sitting on a ship.
Yeah, for sure. It should be a timely thing. I agree. And before we move on from the whole sea, I do want to mention some of the things we didn't mention about the whole sea. It is going to be a ship like no other currently in the game. Swag, I don't know if you've seen anything on it, or people who haven't seen anything on the whole sea. It has moving parts, so we already have ships with moving parts that give us problems, right? The Corsair's wings is a big issue. The Reliant series sometimes is buggy with their wings. Anything where your ship transforms, it causes a real problem in the game. This ship is going to open up and have like giant panels come out from the inside of the ship and act like solar panels, but as cargo grids. And it has a tube that's in the center of the ship that is going to extend when that happens. So the ship is going to completely transform from being in flight mode with no cargo to being in cargo hauling mode. It's massive change of the ship. I don't want to spend too much more time on the Hull C because I want to keep this video relatively short. Maybe in the future we'll dedicate a whole thing to talking about the Hull C because I feel like we could probably sit here and talk about it for a long time. But I just wanted to throw that out there. We have lots of issues with moving parts already, so hopefully this doesn't just add flame to the fire.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it for, I think, updates on 3.20 that we're going to talk about today. There's also the newsletter that came out with some interesting news. Okay, sorry, let me rephrase that. It came out with no interesting news, but one small update that can start some fires in the Star Citizen community. So let's talk about it real quick as the finish to this kind of podcast news thing. We have been told that Xenothreat will be back again soon. So real quick, I'm just gonna say why. You know, like okay, so what was it? Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? They did Xenothreat like not too long ago, right? Like a couple of weeks ago.
It was random.
And it was random out of nowhere. And the community blew up, guys. Like the Star Citizen community blew up and was pissed and sending tickets and all kinds of things and just roasting CIG. Turn off Xenothreat. And you know what? They did. They did. Like I think they actually listened and said, you know what? Yeah, we had it on for one day. We're turning it off. And they turned it off. I don't know if it was a mistake that they put it on in the first place or what the deal is there, or if they actually listened to the community for once. But now they're saying, hey, we're bringing it back again soon. We haven't fixed anything, or at least they haven't told us that they fixed anything. And they're just saying it's going to be back. What the heck?
What was Xenothreat?
Okay, so yeah, Xenothreat, real quick, because we're, like I said, I want to come close to an end here. It's basically an invasion by like bad guys, and they're trying to take over the system. And so it's basically like a full frontal war of just ships that are just coming in nonstop, spawning enemy ships, so like space combat. And so you basically fight off a bunch of incoming ships in this area in Microtech, and then it's a 3 phases. There's that first frontal defense part, and then there's a part where you have to also defend while resupplying the Jericho, the Jericho station that is holding the Javelin, the Javelin's a big capital ship like the Idris. So like imagine the Idris, but actually bigger and scarier and has a bigger gun on it. You're supposed to be taking cargo from busted down ships and wreck sites in space and take it to the space station to resupply the Javelin. And then that's phase 2. And then the third phase is basically fight an Idris alongside the Javelin. And it's lots of cool space combat. It's an amazing event, but it's completely broken, and anytime it goes live, the servers just don't work. So that's Xenothreat.
Wow, okay, I see.
It's a really cool event. I think Tyrannus will back it up because it's a really awesome event, but it has to work for it to be awesome.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite events when it works, and I preface that with, let's say if you do it 10 times, the server might let you come to completion if you're lucky 2 of those 10. From start to finish, you have bugs pop up at every phase. You have bugs pop up just based on how many people in that server are doing Xenothreat. And you saw last time, and I believe the biggest hiccup was at 3.18, which 3.18 came out, it already had its issues. And they're like, okay, again, they didn't listen to their testing universe, and they said, hey, this isn't ready, don't launch us. They did. Had all the issues 3.18, boom, Xenothreat. You want to talk about massive server load. When it works, it's flawless. This is, one of the main events where if you want to multi-crew ships like a Retaliator, Redeemers, great when it works. And I think it coming out, it's been nice to have a stable patch. So the fact that they're bringing it back out, I don't know if they're testing some things on their back end, but you kind of want to shudder when you hear the thought that, hey, this is coming down the pipe without telling us, hey, there's major fixes, and that's a lot of what these newsletters are. They're very vague. So it'll be a wait and see game for sure.
Yeah. So Swag, I think you've never seen it, so it might be interesting for you to see it, even though it might not necessarily.
Yeah, if they work out the kinks this time around, and that's why they're bringing it back, because they got it working. It sounds like really fun for multi-crew big parties to do.
Yeah, so it's actually one of the only missions in the game that I think you can actually make money being partied up and being with friends, because everyone makes a passive income for just being in the event. So like every 5 minutes they give you 5,000. It's not even 5 minutes, more like every minute they give you 5,000 if it's working correctly. So you're steadily getting 5,000 credits, 5,000 credits, and then you get 25,000 or whatever it is for completing that part, and then you get another 25,000 for completing the next part. And I think the final part's like a bigger income. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but you're basically making passive income just for being in the area and firing at things.
Yeah, every little aspect of Xenothreat. I mean, if you're moving cargo, you bring the cargo to the Jericho, you're getting money for that cargo if you're a cargo moving. So there's an incentive to do every little spot. Every time obviously the call to arms is always active, but you take down the bigger ships that spawn. A lot of the ships that are spawning are Vanguard series, Cuddy series. But if you're the landing shot on the Idris, you can make a lot of money. One of the bugs, however, and I can say that I've worked with this bug, is that if you accept the mission, you can go do other missions, be in the same microtech area, and be making passive income while doing something completely different. And hopefully that's something they fix, because obviously that's a workaround.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else? Frank?
Hey, I'm pulling up to you guys. Are y'all still at that area?
We're in the middle of the sky, but yeah.
Okay. You're
Yeah.
in space or Atmo?
I don't know.
In space.
I actually like Xenothreat. I've only done it a couple times, but I've never been able to finish it. The first time I tried it, it just it bugged out, and I just kind of explored the Javelin. I was able to do some space combat, but it never finished. It never did like the Idris part. It never did the nobody knew how to get the cargo because it wasn't showing up, so it was just bugging out. But it was still fun because just shooting bad guys with a whole bunch of randos. That was pretty fun. And the second time I did it, it was actually working. I was able to do the first part, defend the Javelin, get some cargo, deliver the cargo, and the big Idris fight. So when it works, it's actually pretty cool. I mean, anything that's in Star Citizen that gets you out of this regular day-to-day, go here, go there. I like, because I want Star Citizen to have more content, new things. I mean, obviously, stability is important. I mean, when Xenothreat is on, the servers get hammered. But they need to do these things because if they want, this game to be released and have the expectations that they have with persistence and all these different systems and all these different players, they have to figure out how to make it work. And the only way for them to do it is to do these things. So it's kind of growing pains, but I think people need to understand that.
I think I'm falling to Earth. Ah, shit. Right to the planet.
Did you jump out?
Yeah. Catch me, Swag.
What about you, Bishop? Have you partaked in Xenothreat?
No, I've never tried it. I heard it was so broken all the time, so I never thought to go over there and mess with it.
Yeah, since you started playing the game, I don't think it's been worth your time. Maybe this time it will. Maybe this time it will.
I mean, I'll try it if you guys try it. I'll run over there with y'all.
I know, so from my experience, when Xenothreat begins, like soon as they turn it on, like boom, magic, they turned it on, right? If you are in the first round of it, or even the second round of it, it works flawlessly. But as soon as it starts repeating for like 3, 4, 5 times, or the first day is over, it just, it stops working. But if you're there for that very first couple of hours, it works pretty well. At least in 3.18 and 3.19.
And of course, the last time it launched, they launched Persistence, which you get on the 3rd or 4th day of Xenothreat plus Persistent. Yeah, it was rough. It's one of the only events, and I always giggle. We had Siege of Wars a little ways ago, but you never had an event that would come out where you'd see in chat, do not join this, do not do this to this server.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right. Any final thoughts on Xenothreat before we wrap it up? Cool beans. All right.
I'm gonna try to jump to you guys again. I'm all in microtech.
Okay. Well, we got you. We're in this up. I'm just gonna do a wrap
Did
up
you
here.
just freaking die again?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Got there,
crazy.
jumped out, fell to the planet.
Oh, we were too close to Atlas.
You should have checked the alt meter to see if it was there or not. But yeah, so that's gonna be pretty much the end of this one, guys. We talked for a long time. We did go over the hour mark. I try to keep it around the hour mark. But there's a lot to talk about in Star Citizen. There's always a lot to talk about in Star Citizen, and it's a beautiful game, and we want to see it succeed. There's lots of issues, but every game has its issues. I mean, this game has a lot of issues, but it's an alpha, right? Anyways, on Xenothreat, all I ask, please, CIG, if it doesn't work, turn it off. Okay? If it works, that's fine. Okay? If you're testing something, break the server for a couple hours, turn it off. Please. Just why? Alright? Come on. We're just trying to play the game here and try to help you out. You got to help us out to help you out. I mean, yeah, we want to test your stuff and make sure it works, but we can't test it if we can't even play. Anyways, this is us, with given feedback. So, I mean, not all of us, put in tickets and stuff like that, but some of us, and I know you guys watch other YouTubers. I know you don't watch me, or maybe you do watch me, but we give you bugs and our thoughts, and we want you to succeed. We want you guys to do awesome things, but we also want to do awesome things ourselves. So help us out with getting things done the way you need to get it done, and any support that we can give you, we'll do our best to give you the support. And yeah, so this has been the end of Astro Mercenaries podcast, week 1, or I guess we'll call it week of July 20, I mean, whatever, Oh, well, no, but it's 17th through the 24th, something like that. You know what I mean? Anyways, yeah. So this has been Astro Mercenaries' first podcast news conversation about the future of Star Citizen. Maybe we'll be doing one of these every Monday. Smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if you guys enjoyed. Let us know your opinions on 3.20 and the future of Star Citizen and the things that have come out this week. And let us know if you do want to see more of this, and we'll do it every single week. I think there's plenty of places to get your news in Star Citizen, but I think we can give a nice, cool perspective because we're a group that plays together with each other every single night. And we're always out here grinding. We're always doing our thing. And I know other people, you know, they have their information and they play the game too, but I just think, you know, we can give you some perspective on what's happening, and we're in the game showing you and all these things and stuff like that. But I'm gonna ramble on too much with this outro. I'm gonna end it here, guys. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. Thank you guys for all the support. Appreciate you guys. This is Astro Manny and the Astro Mercenary crew saying their goodbyes, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Everyone say adios and things like that. Yeah.
Adios, muchachos.
Later.
Yeah.
The Pico be with you.
Have a wonderful day, guys. Adios.